Thank you so much, Senators Kavanaugh and Moss, and appreciate the opportunity to talk about Senate Bill 509. Very grateful for the opportunity to work on this important bill package to ensure common sense immigration enforcement, protect people's privacy rights, and increase public safety. We are in a time right now where it is critical that we are clear about our values, due process, privacy rights, and being welcoming of those who make our country's neighborhoods and economies strong. We've seen far too many families ripped apart, with citizen children no longer having their parents by their sides. We've seen far too many people living in fear because of out-of-control law enforcement tactics by ICE. We've seen unlawful detentions, and we've seen people deported to countries that they've literally never lived in before. Senate Bill 509 addresses the important issue of ensuring that people's personal information is not shared without their permission or without a judicial warrant for the purposes of immigration enforcement. In this bill, personal information is defined as information that identifies an individual, including their photograph, name, address, driver's license number, social security number, telephone number, signature, or medical and disability information. Essentially, what this bill does is it prohibits government entities from sharing people's personal information with anyone for the purposes of immigration enforcement unless there is a judicial warrant. The bill lays out a process for requesting or being granted access to personal information from a government entity and states that, one, prior to sharing any personal information, that government entity will require information from the person requesting the information and a statement under penalty of perjury about whether that person is requesting the information for purposes of immigration enforcement. And second, if the person does state that the request is for the purposes of immigration enforcement, they must state whether they have a warrant for that information, specifically issued by a federal or state court. If there is no warrant and the government entity believes that the requester is intending to use that personal information for immigration enforcement, they shall not provide that personal information. Each March, each government entity shall provide a report to the Attorney General and the legislature with details about how many requests were made, as well as the number granted or denied. At the national level, we've unfortunately seen this current administration tapping into numerous databases at an unprecedented scale, including sensitive information about taxes, health, addresses, biometric data, and more. This extraordinary level of access has raised alarms across the political spectrum for libertarians, for civil liberties organizations, and security experts. Privacy violations for U.S. residents, both citizens and non-citizens, should be of grave concern for all of us. There is a lot of fear already in our communities, as Senator Kavanaugh mentioned, about going to the hospital, attending a court hearing, or sending children to school. And in addition to now the change that was made earlier this year around locations, by the government attempting to build a massive database for immigration enforcement using people's personal information only makes the climate of fear even worse. I want to note that there have been several lawsuits at the federal level regarding ICE's access to health care and tax data. The National Parents Union, Carrie Rodriguez, the president of the National Parents Union, said the following as one of the most recent lawsuits was filed earlier this fall. Quote, families deserve to know that their most private, financial, and personal information is not being handed over without their consent, especially when immigrant parents are being treated differently under the law. Sharing sensitive information poses real risks to people's safety, sense of belonging, and trust in public institutions. We call on policymakers to immediately halt this data sharing and put meaningful safeguards in place. While this quote is about federal data, it could certainly be said about state data as well. And I want to share one more quote from a national organization regarding medical data sharing. Doctors have an ethical duty to protect patient confidentiality. When patients no longer trust that what they share stays private, they may withhold important information or stay away entirely. That undermines doctors' ability to diagnose and treat them. The danger isn't just personal. If people with contagious, potentially deadly diseases avoid seeking care out of fear of ICE, they put all of us at risk. One infected, untreated person can spark an outbreak. ICE's use of these databases serves as a stark reminder that tools designed for legitimate purposes, such as detecting insurance fraud, can be quietly turned into instruments of surveillance. ICE's misuse of medical claims data not only threatens undocumented immigrants, but also, by eroding trust in the public health system, endangers all Americans. That quote is from Patrick Eddington and Jeffrey Singer, who are both senior fellows at the Cato Institute, which is a right-leaning libertarian think tank. So it's clear that leaders on the right and the left agree eroding people's privacy rights is dangerous for all of us. Thank you, Madam Chair.